this is Tim Pierce. Here's a look at two effects I like to use to drench my guitar and make it really wet and ambient. Dry is fine, but drenched can be really, really grand. Click the link below if you want to check out the full lesson on this in the masterclass with tabs. So this is one of my favorite ways to drench a guitar with effects. I start with a good dry tone. This is a Duesenberg Star Player TV guitar, and the bridge pickup is very sparkly. So the first effect I'm going to throw on this thing is a way huge superpuss, and it's an analog delay. The main thing I do is I darken the delay so all the top end is rolled off the delay. So the original guitar signal is still prominent, and behind it is a darker delay. The other most important thing about this is it has modulation. And I make the modulation kind of musical behind it, not too much, but enough so it creates kind of a wave behind the guitar. And you get an extra dimension from it. Now I'll show you, let me crank it up. When I exaggerate it, it gets a little comical, so you want to back it down so that it becomes musical, and it's just a slight effect behind the original tone. There are lots of delays out there these days that have the features that I'm talking about. The two most crucial things for me are the ability to roll off the top end so that the delay darkens and disappears behind the original guitar tone, and also modulation so that you can get a little wave of, you could call it chorusing, but it never really sounds like that. It adds sort of a dimension behind the sound. It's a soft, kind of a subtle kind of chorusing. And one other pedal that I use for this purpose is the Echo Park by Line 6. It's another George Tripp's design from a long time ago. So that's another one that's more affordable. But there's lots of them out there. Let me show you again how dark the delay is. It's really, really dark sounding. All the top end is taken away. And the reason for this is I want the original guitar tone to sparkle and be right up front. And like I said, the delay just creates a dimension behind the sound. So the next effect that I add to this is this Mxr Reverb. I have it on what's called the Epic preset. And this creates another dimension. Really completes this kind of dream-like guitar picture. Now there's always a danger of making things too wet, too drenched, and I think I've done that. So I'm going to dial back the reverb and try and get it to where it's not quite as drenched. That seems right. And as you play, your little voice in your head can evaluate and decide how dry or wet you want it. The other thing that I like to use with a guitar like this, it has a really good tremolo arm. And what I do is I park my little finger over it, and that way it's ready to go. Now there are lots of ways to use a tremolo arm, but particularly for chording, it's a very musical thing just to really make it very subtle and shallow. So you can even make more of a wave with the delay and the reverb and this thing shaking, because what this does, it rubs against the effects, which are a little bit behind the original tone, and it just creates an even grander wave. But the idea with whatever tremolo you're using is to keep it in your hand so that you can use it as you're playing. And just make subtle moves. And something I really love to do is to play an arpeggio chordal solo thing. That kind of thing. So where I'm at right now is I see this D chord and I start here. So 2, 3, 2. And then I go open E. That's with the index finger. And I strike, pull off. And then I start arpeggiating back this way. Still seeing the D shape right here. So I strike the D and then I pull off from 2 to open. Pluck, 4, 2, open. And that's, basically I'm seeing the D chord there, the extension of it. And I walk back up. And when I come up, I do this double stop here. I'm at 5 and 3. And when I do that, I'm visualizing the E minor again. You can see the E minor there. It's also shared by a D sus. It's right there. I know we're headed back to E minor, and even this next melody I play is kind of telegraphing the E minor that's about to happen. So I'm in perfect position to pull up here at fret 4, match the pitch at 5, drop, slide down to 2, strike the low E. And what that does, it puts me in position to get right back in the stream and start playing. Start playing the phrase again. And I love doing that if I can, busting out of structure and then returning back to structure at the right time. So that's the deal. I'm going to do it slow. And the open E string even gives my hand a little bit of time to come back up to the phrase.